5 everyday habits that quietly make old persons smell worse. No one ever tells you that you smell different. They don't say it out loud. But maybe you notice how someone leans back just a little when you're talking, or how your grandchild gives you a quick hug and then pulls away a little too fast. And in that quiet moment, you wonder to yourself, do I have that smell? That scent you can't quite name? Not sweat, not dirt, just something old, faint, waxy, a little stale. Some people call it old person smell. Yeah, I know. That sounds harsh. But the truth is, it's real. And here's what makes it even harder. You shower every day. You wear clean clothes. You try your best to stay fresh. But still, that smell lingers. It clings to your shirts. It floats through the room. And worst of all, you feel like no one wants to tell you. And friend, that hurts. But here's what I want you to hear. You are not dirty, you are not broken, and you are not alone. As we age, our bodies change. Our skin, our hormones, our digestion, all of it shifts, quietly, slowly. And sometimes the smell comes with it. But it's not your fault, it's not shameful, and it's not permanent. Because the truth is, that old person smell often comes from simple, everyday habits. Little things we don't even think about that slowly build up over time. But here's the good news. You can fix them gently, naturally, at home. Today we're going to talk about 5 everyday habits that might be making the smell worse. And more importantly, what you can do instead to feel fresh, clean, and confident again. Let's start with the very first habit. It's one most people think they've already got right, but chances are you're missing something. Let's head to the shower. Habit 1, just rinsing instead of truly washing. Let's be honest, most of us have been showering the same way for decades. Hop in, soap up, rinse off, dry, done. And hey, that used to work just fine. But as we get older, our skin changes. It becomes thinner, drier, more delicate. And the way our body produces oils, that changes too. Now here's something most people don't realize. There's a natural compound called 2-non-enal that shows up more often in people over 50. It builds up on the surface of the skin, especially in areas where sweat and oil tend to collect. And guess what? Regular soap doesn't always wash it off. You see, many older adults, just like Frank, who we talked about earlier, do bathe daily, but they still notice a lingering smell. That's because they're only rinsing, not really cleaning the right spots. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you really washed behind your ears? Or the folds under your arms? The back of your neck? Your groin? The bottom of your feet? These areas trap oils, dead skin cells, and bacteria. And over time, that buildup turns into odor, even if the rest of you feels squeaky clean. So what's the fix? You don't need fancy products or harsh scrubbing. All it takes is a soft cloth, some gentle, fragrance-free soap, and a little more attention to those key areas. Behind the ears, neck, underarms, groin, lower back, even between your toes. Spend an extra minute there. That's all it takes. Because sometimes it's not about washing more. It's about washing smarter. Now, even if you clean all the right spots, there's still one more thing that can sneak in and bring the smell right back. And it's probably hanging in your closet right now. Let's talk about that in habit 2. Habit 2, wearing the same clothes or pajamas too long. Let me ask you something. Have you ever looked at your shirt or your pajama pants and thought, well, it looks clean, smells fine, I can wear it again? We've all done it. And for a long time, that might have been totally okay. But here's the tricky part. Just because something looks clean doesn't mean it is. As we age, our skin releases more oils. And remember that compound we talked about earlier? 2-nonenal? Yeah, that one doesn't just sit on your skin. It sticks to your clothes too. Especially to fabric that's soft and absorbent, like cotton, fleece, flannel. Things we love wearing around the house. So even if your clothes look spotless, they can quietly hold on to odors day after day. And when you wear them again, those smells come right back, sometimes stronger than before. Frank used to wear the same sleep shirt 3 nights in a row. It felt cozy, familiar. But little did he know, that shirt was part of the problem. So what can you do? You don't need to start doing laundry every day. But try this. Change into fresh pajamas every night. Wash undergarments after every wear. And for clothes like sweaters or house shirts, every 2 to 3 wears, max. When you do laundry, add baking soda or a splash of white vinegar to the wash. It helps neutralize deep odors that detergent alone can't touch. And most importantly, don't forget about things like pillowcases, towels, and seat cushions. Those fabrics carry more smell than we think. Frank didn't need new clothes. He just needed a fresh rotation. Now, let's say you've cleaned your skin. You've changed your clothes. But the smell still seems to come back. What if the problem isn't outside? What if it's coming from inside your body? From what you're eating every single day? Let's talk about that in Habit 3. Habit 3, eating foods that create internal odor. Now here's something most people never think about. Your breath, your sweat, even the scent of your skin. They're not just affected by what you put on your body, but by what you put in it. Yep, I'm talking about your diet. Frank, who we've been following, had a pretty typical routine. Eggs and sausage in the morning, a ham sandwich for lunch, and maybe a hearty beef stew at dinner. Something warm, something familiar. But over time, he started noticing something strange. Even on days when he didn't break a sweat, there was still a smell. Something sharp, sour, hard to name, but definitely there. So what was going on? Well, as we age, our digestion slows down. Our bodies can't break down heavy foods like they used to. And when that happens, those proteins and fats hang around longer than they should. They start to ferment in the gut. And some of that makes its way out through your pores. Certain foods are the usual suspects. Red meat, processed meats like bacon or sausage, full-fat dairy, fried or greasy food, raw onions and garlic. They taste great, but the aftermath? Not so great for body odor. So what can you do? You don't need to give up flavor. You just need to balance things out. Try swapping in leafy greens like spinach and kale, fruits like apples, berries, oranges, whole grains, grilled chicken or salmon instead of red meat, and plenty of water, maybe even with a squeeze of lemon to help your liver. Frank didn't become a health nut overnight. He just started making better choices. One lighter meal a day, a salad here, a baked fish there, and slowly, the smell faded. Now, let's say your skin is clean, your clothes are fresh, and your meals are lighter, but something still feels off. There's a mustiness in the air, a heaviness that clings, not to you, but to the space around you. Let's take a closer look at that. In Habit 4. Habit 4, living in stale, closed-off spaces. Here's something we rarely think about. Sometimes it's not you that smells. It's your environment. Frank loved comfort and quiet. He kept his house warm, his windows shut, his curtains drawn. It made him feel safe, peaceful. But over time, he started to notice something. Even after a good shower, even with clean clothes on, there was a smell, soft but stale. It hung in the air, clung to the furniture, and made everything feel heavy. You see, our homes can trap odors without us realizing it. As we age, our sense of smell dulls, so we often don't notice how musty things have become. Fabrics like curtains, cushions, and blankets absorb scent over time. Closed-off rooms collect moisture and body oils, and without fresh air, that smell has nowhere to go. So even if your hygiene is spotless, your space might be undoing all your hard work. So what's the fix? First, open a window. Even just 15 to 20 minutes a day can change the air completely. Let the sunlight in. Light kills bacteria and helps reduce dampness. Next, think about fabrics. Wash pillowcases and bed sheets weekly. Vacuum cushions. And every now and then, sprinkle a little baking soda on your mattress or armchair. Let it sit for 20 minutes, then vacuum it up. You can also place bowls of baking soda, coffee grounds, or activated charcoal in corners of the room. They quietly absorb odors without adding fake fragrance. Frank tried it. At first it felt silly, airing out the house like his mother used to do. But after a week, everything felt lighter, cleaner. And when his daughter came by for a visit, she smiled and said, "It smells so nice in here, Dad." That meant the world to him. But even with all of that, there's one more thing that can make body odor worse. And it's not about what you wash, or what you wear, or even what you eat. It's about what's going on inside your body. Let's talk about that next, in Habit 5. Ignoring health signs like constipation or medication side effects. Now, this last one might surprise you. Sometimes body odor has nothing to do with how clean you are, and everything to do with how your body is functioning on the inside. Let me explain. Frank had been feeling a bit sluggish. Nothing serious, just a little bloated, a little gassy. His stomach felt off. He was also on a few medications for blood pressure and cholesterol, and over time, he started to notice something strange. Even after a shower, his body had a sharp, almost metallic smell. His breath felt dry, and deodorant didn't seem to help much anymore. Turns out, that smell was his body's way of communicating. As we get older, our digestion slows. We experience constipation more often, and toxins sit in the body longer than they should. Sometimes, when our liver or kidneys are under strain, the body finds other ways to release waste. And where does that waste go? Right through the skin. On top of that, certain medications, like statins, diuretics, or even pain relievers, can change the way your sweat and saliva smell. Some can cause dry mouth, making bad breath worse. Others affect your gut and throw off your internal balance. But here's the good news. You can support your body in gentle, natural ways. Start with a daily warm drink, like chamomile, peppermint, or lemon tea. These herbs help with digestion and mild detox. Eat foods that are high in fiber, like oatmeal, apples, or leafy greens. Drink plenty of water, and don't be afraid to talk to your doctor if you notice new or unusual smells. Frank did just that. He switched one of his medications, added a cup of herbal tea at night, and started moving his body just a bit more each day. And slowly, his body stopped shouting, because he had started listening. Now, we've gone through 5 everyday habits. None of them meant harm, but all of them, little by little, made the smell worse. So what do we do with all this? Let's bring it home. If you've made it this far, thank you, because this topic isn't easy to talk about. And let's be honest, most people don't. No one likes to think they might smell bad. But deep down, you just want to feel clean, fresh, huggable, confident in your own skin. And you can. Because this isn't about shame. It's not about covering up. It's about caring for yourself in a deeper way. Today, we talked about 5 habits that might have been making things worse. You learned how rinsing isn't always enough. How clothes can hold on to more than just memories. How food can shape how we smell. How stale air traps old scents. And how your own body might be asking for a little help. And through it all, you now have real, gentle, practical things you can start doing today. Small shifts, big impact. Because you don't need to smell like roses. You just need to feel like you again. So if this video gave you something to think about, drop a comment below that says, "I'm starting today." And if there's someone in your life who might need this, someone who's too kind to tell you directly, or someone who's struggling quietly, send this their way. Because we all deserve to age with dignity, with comfort, and yes, with a little bit of freshness. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.